It feels like the clock's been turned back 40 years. It's incredible how I feel.
Welcome to Jack's Garage, and come on and follow me.
We are healing, taking control.
This is where all the magic happens.
I have the pink paper, so I belong to the group that took the government to court. So this is when we won the right to grow, and we won the right to alter the state of our own medicine. You see, when I was making the cannabis oil to save my life, I risked going to jail for 10 years because I was processing cannabis oil. Then I found Criminal Code 262. You cannot stop me from saving my life, and you cannot stop me from helping to save the life of someone else. That's law. So those are the rules that we work under. When you're sick and dying, you have no rules. So I'm illegally alive instead of legally dead.
I was an electrician and a welder. So then I went into work in the factory, and that's where my injury took place.
I have bilateral carpal tunnel, bilateral outer nerve entrapment, 2 torn rotator cuffs, 2 torn bicep tendons. Snapped my leg up and then torn the meniscus tendon. The cartilage is gone. I was on OxyContin, I was on morphine, I was on the fentanyl patch. I chewed Tylenol number 4, 20, 30 of them a day, 800 milligrams of Celebrex, 2,000 milligrams of metformin. I was going on the needle for my diabetes. I was on 5 blood pressure medication. I was on medication because I was on medication. I was on cholesterol medication. By the time it was all done, I was on 22 medications. The right guy had crossed my path. And he said to me, he said, Jack, you're dying here. And he said, you need to ingest. And so I had been ingesting the decarb cannabis capsules for 6 months. And that's just cannabis that's been decarboxylated at 240 degrees for 45 minutes. Now it's activated. You've taken it from THCA and switched it over to THC Delta 9. The THC Delta 9 is what cures. Now I don't even have an aspirin in my house. Well, after I got off all the medications and everything, and I'm thinking everything is hunky-dory, but my back still felt like it was broken. So they told me I was old, it's herniated disc, it's pulled muscle, live with that. And then once I peed and I started to pass all this blood like I slashed my wrist, so that's what it was a bladder cancer, and my prostate was involved. You're lost. You don't know what to do. They overwhelm you with, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to remove your bladder, you can have your bladder reconstructed, this. And that's when I had to get very serious, and I started to do my homework. It was me. It was the stress I was under. My life was still toxic. My marriage was toxic. My food was toxic. My friends were toxic. So I had to clean my plate. Once I cleaned my plate, here it is. It fixed everything. It fixed my diabetes. It fixed my blood pressure. It gave me the use of my upper girdle back. I went from a person that couldn't walk before. I walked 5-6 miles every single morning. Clear. Good boy, Jasper. Very fortunate to have a place like this to walk. There was no cats this morning. For a guy that couldn't walk, that's not too shabby. Gardening is very, very important. First off, gardening is probably one of the most therapeutic things that you can do. There's nothing better than coming out of here and then picking up some asparagus, a little bit of kale, beet tops. I know exactly what these plants are being fed. Nothing is toxic. Everything is organic. This is the same food that I feed my cannabis plants inside. See, the problem is the sick people can't afford the medication. If I had to buy my medication, it cost me $16,000 a month. I can't afford that. So yeah, that doesn't work. So I get to grow my own meds. Come on in, I'll show you the grow room. Here's the ladies in the final stage. We're gonna harvest in a couple of days. I'll get off of this approximately maybe 2 pounds all the time is what I get off the table. It's one of the most relaxing things that you can do is growing your own medicine, because now you're taking part of your own healing. That's what it's all about.
So the endocannabinoid system, I call it the master regulator of our bodily systems. My name's Dr. Ira Price. I've been practicing medicine since 2010. I am a Royal College specialist in emergency medicine with a fellowship in sports medicine and a special interest in chronic pain. And for the last decade, I've been practicing in the area of cannabinoid medicine. So the endocannabinoid system, it's made up of chemicals or neurotransmitters and receptors that those chemicals bind to. Same way you have dopamine in your system, you also have cannabis in your system. The same stuff that's in the plant exists in your body. And that's how the exogenous cannabinoids, or the cannabis that exists in the plant, that's how it interacts with the cannabinoids or the endocannabinoid system that exists within our body. So whether it was in breast milk or whether it was in your central nervous system, the endocannabinoid system is so robust. That's why it's called the master regulator of bodily function.
This endocannabinoid system that we have, so picture your body like a switchboard. Remember the old switchboard where you pick. So a whole bunch of those receptors aren't working anymore because of how we eat, the toxins that we are exposed to, everything that we're exposed to. So cannabis isn't fussy. You eat it, it just goes to work. That's its job. Animals love and eat it because it's good for them. It's good for the digestive system. So they have the same endocannabinoid system as we do. That's pretty cool. See, I learned with my last dog, he was 14 and a half, and I was putting him down, and he couldn't walk out the dog door anymore. So I started to feed those decarb capsules to the dog. So he was getting 6 of those. So he was getting 1.5 grams of cannabis a day. In 6 weeks, boom, boom, I hear the dog door, and I go, you got to be kidding me. He comes back in again, and 10 weeks later, I'm back over in the field again with my dog. I got another 4.5 years out of my dog. Yeah, it's the fountain of youth. And so they're like, don't wait until your animal has aches and pains. Give it to it so it don't. And so I learned that right away, like with Bubba Ganoush there, the little Mancoon. So she's on it. The 21-year-old, yeah, they're all on it. Jasper's on it. THC is not hazardous to the animals. There's so much bad information out there. We use the THC just like for what I use for myself. If your animal has cancer, that's what we use. So don't fall for all the stories. The science is there.
In the 60s, we have a doctor in Israel by the name of Dr. Meshulam, and eventually we're able to extract the chemical that causes one to get high, and that was called THC. This led to more research. That's when we started learning that we have a CB1 receptor and we have a CB2 receptor, and we have these lipid-based or fat-based molecules that act as neurotransmitters in our own body that imitate exactly what's in the plant. And that's where the endocannabinoid system started to develop. So we're on such a new frontier right now. I think over time, what we're going to find is that we revolutionize the way medicine is practiced by understanding more thoroughly how the systems interact with each other.
Cannabis is the most important food on the planet. Cannabinoids come from the cannabis plant and breast milk. So we're hardwired for this. It's the only thing that we're hardwired for. We're a cannabis factory. I'm not an OxyContin factory. I'm not a Percocet factory. I'm not a blood pressure medication factory. I'm a cannabis factory. When people ask me, like, should I do the chemo? I said, that's your choice. Have you educated yourself on it? Well, no, I didn't. And I goes, Really? So it says you're just going to blindly do what the guy in the white coat says. You see, the way they do it is very hard on the immune system. The way we do it is your immune system is what got you there. So we just address the immune system. That's what got you there. That's what needs to be fixed. And it makes it very easy when you know what's going into your pie hole, because that's where your immune system is, between your pie hole and your butthole. That's where it is, right there. You see, cancer loves an acidic environment. That's what it loves. So we have to change that. Come on to my fridge. It's a healthy fridge. My fruits and veggies, and so here, it's what I drink is almond milk. Here's the coconut water. So I have apples, I have some cherries, cauliflower. I was a meat eater, and now I don't understand why I ever did eat meat. When you eat your vegetables here, it's one of the healthiest things that you can do. This asparagus soup that I'm making takes you from one end of the alkalinity scale to the other end of the alkalinity scale. That's why your urine smells as soon as you eat asparagus. So it's very, 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 very healthy for you. I can honestly tell you the food that I've been cooking in the last 9 years is strictly vegetarian. It's probably the most delicious food I've ever ate in my life. For myself, it's like the clock's been turned back 50 years. All because I went home and I ate my fruits and vegetables and I shoved cannabis in every hole that I had. That's what I did to save my life. And that's pretty much how we treat all sickness.
Altogether, I think Jack is recommending something that is ideal. Is it practical? As long as somebody can obtain it and sustain it on a long-term basis, I think it's great.
My smoothies, that's probably one of the most important meals of the day. It consists of all my veggies in the fridge, and the supplements that go in it is ginger, hawthorn, ginseng, alfalfa powder, Ceylon cinnamon, turmeric and black pepper, pineapple core, apple fiber, and it's a complete meal in itself. I look at my food like this. Your food is your medicine, and your medicine is your food. That's how it works. You ate yourself sick, you have to eat yourself healthy. Methionine is what cancer feeds on. Methionine is in our foods, and so we need that. So in fruits, nuts, vegetables, and beans, the number is 80. So anything over and above that now is detrimental to our health when we have cancer. Eggs is 240, chicken is 480, and fish is almost 700 off the chart. So that feeds cancer directly. So cut off the food supply, use cannabis, goes and shuts off the light switch, and now we have apoptosis of the cancer. So if you eat like a vegetarian, some people, they still get cancer because it's usually stress. And so you have to look at what we call the emotional causes of cancer. And for me, it was being raped by my uncle when I was a little boy, and then keeping all that in, and then living across the street from the house where it happened for the last 34 years. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that you have to deal with. To deal with that, I had quantum hypnosis done. The object of the game was to take the pain of the little boy and help Jacob heal. And it was that simple. And this is what allows me to talk about it. Yeah. So the biggest thing is people can't face themselves. If you got a lot of baggage, it has to be dealt with. And it wasn't easy. And trust me, it wasn't easy. I mean, I don't wish this journey on anybody. So the biggest thing is proper frame of mind. Sorry. I won the lottery. I'm still alive. You know, I can't explain it. Grateful. I'm so full of love. I had given up many, many things, and I gravitated to the music because the music makes me happy. I play to my animals. I play to my plants. Music is a very important part of the healing journey. Half my band are medicinal cannabis users, and they all have miracle stories. Jack's Garage, when we go and play, the money that we get paid, we put it into a kitty, and we help sick people with it. I deal with people in England, Australia, Africa, South America, Costa Rica, Taiwan, Cambodia, Israel, everywhere. I'm a guy in a garage, and I've done my homework. You know, it's like this. You got a pretty good chance if you cross my path. Hey, so we've got a lot of success stories.
I'm a housekeeper, and cannabis has allowed me to be able to keep working. 2 years ago, I had what they call Takotsubo, ballooning of the left ventricle of the heart. It mimics a heart attack. So I was in the hospital in ICU for about 3 or 4 days, and they did the angiogram and found there was no blockages. They say in about 3 to 4 months, your heart should go back to normal size with rest and care. And they put you on the regimen of drugs that a regular heart attack person would have. And that didn't make a lot of sense to me because I didn't have blockages. So why am I on a beta blocker? Why am I on blood pressure medication when my blood pressure is low to begin with? So I kind of fought a little bit with the cardiologist, and he was upset because I weaned myself off the drugs before I saw him the second time. And he basically fired me, and I went, no, I fire you. Like, it was insane. Honestly, you have to be your own health advocate in this day and age. You just have to. Use common sense. If it doesn't feel right, doesn't look right, it probably isn't right. When I started to ingest, not just smoke, but to ingest it, within 30 days, I knew. It's just like, I can't believe it. I sleep, way less pain, happy. It's been now a little over 3 years since I had the Takotsubo, and I have the all clear, and I feel fantastic. We do like a coffee club every morning, so we're always around, and we just talk about cannabis and helping people.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Knock, knock, knock. I'm back.
Just have a look at us. You know, we were all terminal. That's the best part. We were all terminal. We're still here.
We were stopped at a red light in a Cadillac, and a transport truck hit us from behind, dragged the car about 1.5 miles before everything came to a stop. My sister-in-law was killed in the accident, and my husband and I were left with life-altering injuries. My neck was broken in 3 places. My jaw, my ear was ripped off. My shoulder was ripped apart. My arm broken. My right hip, all my teeth smashed and broken. And I was very much tied to my pharmaceuticals, the doctors, the need for the meds. I mean, I couldn't function at all without them. And then a doctor, I started to cry in his office when he, made the mistake of asking me how my day was. It wasn't a good one. And in part of the conversation, he said to me, he goes, you need to meet Jack Kungo. We hit it off right away. And again, it's because we discovered so many things in common. And I was fully onto the cannabis and off all of my pharmaceuticals, including 380 milligrams of morphine. My license is for 30 grams a day, and I use it in all forms, but the most important for me is the FICO. And the FICO is what holds Humpty Dumpty Head together. I mean together. My neck doesn't lose connection with my body maybe twice a year now, as opposed to upwards to 5 times a day. I have squamous cell carcinoma. I was full of tumors in my bladder, my bowel, my kidneys, my breasts. In the last month and a half, found out that the last tumor in my kidney is gone. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. Back when I was 25 or whatever, smoking a joint on a Friday night, did I ever think that cannabis was going to be that cure-all that was going to save my life? Not in a million years. My biggest regret is that I didn't know sooner.
I was seeing double. I had migraine headaches. I had tinnitus. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I've had skin cancer. I've had basal cell carcinomas and squamous cell carcinomas. And this is my hand. You see, this is my right hand. You can see how swollen it was. I had heard of Jack healing from cancer. I knew that he used cannabis, so it was very difficult for me to come over here. It took about 3 years because the stigma was so great. Oh, I was so scared. I was looking around to make sure that people didn't see me come here. And he was like, hey, come in. You know, he gives me a hug. And he had this stuff set up at the table, some baked goods, some cookies. There was a vaporizer. And he started talking about this endocannabinoid system. And I had never heard of that. And then he talks to me about eating this and eating that and this. And he goes, and I can do this and I couldn't do this before and all this stuff. And I was like, my head was spinning. I wrote down, I brought a binder. And so I incorporated the things that he told me. I embrace nature. It's all part of my wellness plan. Here's some of my girls. I'm super grateful for them. This is an indica. This is going to help with healing and with sleeping and with rest. I have not seen a doctor in over a year. They call me, the hospital calls me once to make tests, squish my body pieces and take, looks at, and I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm pharmaceutical free. And if nothing else, by me doing this, my intent is to bring hope, which is having only positive expectations.
I'm Steve Lozon, known as Lumpy more than my name. I'm 57, normal, healthy childhood. My father was diagnosed with MS when I was under the age of 5. He lived till he was 45. I was diagnosed with MS when I was in my early 20s, as he was. When I was first diagnosed, I was paralyzed from the neck down. I couldn't feed myself. I started with cannabis almost instantly. It's what saved my life to be not like my father. In order to keep my license for cannabis, which kept me alive, I've been put through by the doctors the full opiate list. I've been on Oxycontin, morphine, methadone, gabapentin in doses that they won't even let people take now. That's what the doctor wanted me to go through. He said that he would sign my license as soon as I exhausted all of his remedies. As time went on, I relied solely on smoking for easily 10 years. Then I met Jack. He talked me into the ingestion process. Smoking seems to help sensory very quickly, whereas eating it makes joint pain and relief last very long. I went back to work as an auto mechanic for most of my life. I just stopped being it 3 years ago, because my shoulders won't do it anymore.
It's funny to see new people come into the garage because you can tell their quest for knowledge right away. Because they see what happens with people like Jack and me and Deb and Peggy, Linda, where most people would have been saying, oh, you ain't going to see that person in 2 years. And here we are, bigger and stronger than we were 2 years ago.
So, could you tell me what you got going on?
It's stage 3 ovarian cancer. When they did the first CT, they found the mass with a dark shadow at the base, and they found 2 spots on the liver. When they did the hysterectomy, and there's another word that they used to take out the stomach lining, because they had to pull all that liner out.
The cities.
Yeah.
It's like the silver skin on meat. Right. So that's the silver skin.
Right.
Okay, on the outside.
They removed all of that. Yeah, that was all cancers as well. They did a wash. The oncologist said it's basically like your first chemo treatment where they do all of your insides. They have me scheduled right now for 6 chemo treatments starting February 13th.
So you have your work cut out for you, my dear.
I do.
What's your diet like?
My diet's really good. A lot of fruits and vegetables, in the 50 to 60 percentile, about 20% protein.
What's protein?
Usually lean meats, white, chicken, fish.
Fish and chicken is one of the most toxic things that you can be eating if you have cancer.
Shit.
Cancer feeds on methionine and cancer feeds on sugar. So no bread, no pasta, no potatoes, no sugar, no red meat, no dairy products, no eggs, no chicken, no fish.
Okay.
So you're going to be ingesting, you're going to be doing suppositories, vaporize, put it in your smoothie, just get it into
Any way you can get it in.
Okay.
Any way you can get it into you.
Okay.
So don't be afraid of this plant.
I'm not
Use
afraid
it,
of the plant.
Use it until it makes you sleep. That's
Okay.
when you heal. You stay there until we get an all clear.
It's a lot to drink in.
It's
Isn't it?
fucking
It's
crazy.
overwhelming. You know your head's swimming as it is.
And it's got to be like flashbacks for you too,
Oh,
even
yes.
sitting here. I'm so
Exactly.
sorry.
I was sitting in your chair. Exactly
sorry.
where you are.
Put you through it
Hey,
again.
5 years ago, I was sitting right there.
It's all good.
Okay.
We'll do what we can. Okay? We'll do what we can.
As you see, she was pretty distraught, had no hope or anything. Now she has a plan of attack. This is just the beginning. We're just getting started. So it's always through some type of tragedy or something like that that we all become healers.
So here's Carol, just one of the thousands of people that have passed through your garage in search of natural healing. What's it feel like to be a healer now on the 9th anniversary of finding out you had bladder cancer and pay it forward in this special way?
But the guy that brought her was cancer-free because of what I had done to help him. I can't explain that. You know, there is no feeling like that. I mean, somebody that survived by what I had showed him try this. Now he's bringing somebody else. That's what it's like. I don't have any words for it.
Cannabis has been around for thousands of years. And for thousands of years, cannabis was used therapeutically.
In 1937, you could get it from India. You could order it. This country had this oil. This country had this oil. Yeah, documentation's right there. That all ended because of the Federal Drug Administration when they came in and started to sell you synthetics. When they went, here's the aspirin, and they systematically took cannabis out of pharmacopoeia because cannabis wasn't everything up until 1937.
For about a 100-year period, we had a very dark time in our lives. We had cannabinoids that were outlawed. So we didn't have the ability to study them as much as we wanted.
It's just incredible. The United States government holds a patent on cannabis, patent number 6630507, as a neuroprotectant. They patented the cannabinoid. So they knew. They know. Shame on you. So do you see how hard they worked to keep that away? I found the information. I went and looked. And the more I looked, the more upset I got. And when I found out that we're a cannabis factory and it's in breast milk, you got to be kidding me. So then after that, there was no more rules. That's like telling me my spit and my urine is illegal. They've trained us to be stupid. This is very, very sad. You've been trained to take rules. You believe the guy in the white coat, and it's very sad that that guy hasn't educated himself. If your doctor doesn't believe in cannabis, find yourself another doctor.
Carol passed away a month ago yesterday. It was a very aggressive cancer. I don't know, I guess she went down to about 95 pounds near the end. And a week before she passed, she had a stroke. And then it just took her. But she put up a hell of a fight. And, you know, like we said, you know, we'll do what we can to help.
We don't win every single one.
No.
Because when she did come, it was pretty advanced at that time. And so everybody had their work cut out for her, especially her. It's sad.
It was sad. She got to say goodbye to all her brothers and sisters. Ray held the phone there, and they all said their goodbyes to her.
See, one good thing about when it comes towards the end like that, you're not in a drug-induced coma.
Yeah.
From the morphine or the oxy or the fentanyl or any of that. And so this is where cannabis is probably one of the best end-of-life care that there is. You know, you still can talk to them.
Yep.
And they basically just go to sleep.
Yep, exactly.
I loved her. She was my male. You always had a great smile.
And a laugh.
Yeah, always. Hey, I look forward to seeing her.
Yeah.
You know. The biggest thing is we don't win them all. I learn from every experience as to hopefully we can change something in the protocol to prevent this from happening again. It was very hard, and so we did the best that we could. We made her comfortable. She was not in a drugged out coma. Everybody got to say their goodbyes to her, so that was one nice thing. But it's sad. It is very sad for the family. You know, I don't wish this on anybody, this sickness. It's terrible. This is our plague.
There's a lot of sick people out there that need help. So there's a lot of people that need to learn. He's a very intelligent man when it comes to how to use your cannabis to make yourself healthy.
He's walking, living proof it works. I followed in his footsteps. I'd do it again tomorrow.
He's a fantastic human being. And I've watched him progress into that more fantastic human being as time goes by.
All I've learned is nothing has to die in order for me to survive. And this is the best I've ever felt.
Jack is really interesting. It's hard to find humans who are just so not self-absorbed and willing to just risk everything for other people.
He is only a man in a garage that took his health into his hands and healed himself, not just from cancer. He's addressed his demons. He's done the work. He does it every day. He is known around the world for helping people, and good on him for finding the way and being so selfless to help so many others.
When we're talking about the foundation of healing, you have to address everything. Spiritually, you need to be in love with yourself and everything around you. Physically, you need to exercise. Mentally, if you think you're going to have a difficult time with this, you will have a difficult time. If you think that cannabis is going to make you high, it's going to make you high. But if you think, this is going to be a walk in the park, I just got to eat my fruits and vegetables, that's it, and take cannabis, I can do that. That person will do it. Because he didn't put up any hurdles in front of him. Because nobody can do this for you. You have to. All I'm doing, I'm just showing you the way. This is the way I did it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not dispensing any medical information here. All I'm telling you is, this is what I did. This may or may not work for you. It's pretty simple. But if you do your part, you got a good chance.
If you think cannabis is just for getting high, you're way off track. You don't know Jack. You don't know Jack. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack eats so much cannabis, he medicine. Your medicine is your food. He's giving room for what a little green thinking can do. If you think cannabis is just for getting high, you're way off track.